Today on Legendary Tactics, we're playing Star Realms. I'm looking to focus on the machine cult, the red faction, and we're just going to play against the medium AI because I want to show you, hopefully a good example of how to use them. And of course, none of them come up on the flop, so I have to buy a blob base just to make sure the money doesn't go to waste. But here we're going to grab the first machine cult card to come up, and there's another one, a bit expensive one that's coming up there, but we are going to see what we can do. We're going to buy what we can. We might have to be a blob and machine cult mix. By the way, that outpost, that red outpost is amazing. It only costs 3. It's a 5 strength, and you can sacrifice it for like a late game win. And here I'm going to sacrifice that base just to get the good red base, just so I can illustrate that. And it comes right out in the first hand after the reshuffle. And luckily there's another machine cult red card that costs 4. The machine base is actually a good card, but it's a double-edged sword because you draw a card and then you have to trash one. So, and it's a mandatory thing as well. So it's not like you can say, well, I don't feel like doing it at this turn. So sometimes you're forced in the later game to make some tough choices as far as which one to take. So I'm gonna trash those Vipers. Those are always my first target. Get rid of the Vipers if you can. If you haven't figured it out already, one of the features of the red machine cult faction is the fact that you can pare down your deck. And for a lot of beginner players, they might be thinking, well, why do I want to trash cards? I want to build a great deck. I want to have all my cards. Well, it's all about deck efficiency. It's all about how often your best cards come up. And if you have a deck of 50 and you're looking for one card, it's less likely to come up. So a lot of the Reds' focus is going to be on getting rid of first the Vipers, in my opinion, and then pairing out the Scouts and any of the other weaker cards, especially if you've had to take a card maybe that doesn't fit the build that you're trying to go for. Like if you had to pick up a stray blue or yellow and you just kind of want to get that out of your deck because it doesn't really mesh with the synergies that you're looking to build. I'm going to hang on to all the cards for now. I'm not going to trash any out of hand because my deck's still kind of evolving, and I want to make sure that just in case I have to pivot to more of a blue deck or what have you, I'm definitely leaving yellow out today, mainly just to illustrate the red machine cult faction for you. But basically you've got a combination of the paring down the deck, trashing or scrapping cards that you don't want to have in your deck anymore, and pretty good attack, pretty powerful attack, and also some great bases, some great outposts. Some of them are expensive, but they are very good. Arguably the machine cult red faction is the best in the game, but certainly you can build a deck with any of these any of these colors. They all have their strengths, and you can see he's definitely been going for a yellow. This is going to be a red versus yellow showdown right here. He has got 2 recycling stations in play, so he's able to cycle through and find only his best cards, whereas the red faction scraps cards out of the deck. The yellow tends to just cycle them. So you can live with a slightly larger deck if you have a lot of yellow cards, because they can give you that flexibility where you're able to kind of sort through your deck and pick out the best ones. So I've got a pretty decent attack built up. I'm trying to find something that'll give me another level of attack so I can just wipe out that 3rd outpost, but it's not. I'm going to fall short by 1 combat factor for now. There's some pretty powerful cards coming up, and he just grabbed one of the best ones. I'm a big fan of the blob carrier, the one that allows you to take a free ship from the pool there in the middle, and you don't have to pay anything for it, which can be super valuable. Sometimes it's not that valuable, but it can be incredibly valuable. So yeah, so using the machine base to sort through my deck a little bit. I'm having to lean a little bit towards grabbing some blues. If you're forced to take a blue card or green card and you don't really have any others in your deck, I would definitely recommend that you grab a second or even a third card just to maybe get some synergies going, especially when you're not given a lot of options and you have to pick something of a different faction. This patrol mech is great. I love the flexibility of choosing either the money or the attack, so you can really adjust the whatever you need at that particular moment. It's going to be able to provide it, which is great. So anyway, I've got 3 outposts up. I mean, he's going to have to do 14 damage before he can even touch me. As I said, one of the great things about Red is that they seem to have these really great outposts that can really cause, as you can see, he's got one heck of a good combo going, but he's only going to hit me for 5 damage after all that. And if I didn't have those outposts up, it would be crippling. In this case, I think I'm gonna go for the money. I'll grab that blob world. I'm a big fan, if you can, buy cards there are some cards of other factions that don't rely on you playing another card of that faction. So, I'm much more of a fan of grabbing cards like this one, which it doesn't matter if you have played another blob card. It's still going to work for you. But again, it doesn't hurt to build up some synergies, and you can see like this is going to be a great hand. I'm going to be able to have a lot of card draw when I play all these blob cards. I just got another one and some extra health. You can see we've barely touched each other. In fact, he's higher than when he started because of the healing cards that he has picked up, and I'm only down 8 from where we started. So still very much of a slugfest, even though we've done a lot of damage to each other. Now just brought him down to where we began, more or less. And as I said, I'll keep picking up the odd blob cards. The 2 colors I'm going to focus this deck on are basically red and green, with a few blue tossed in just for some healing. But this game's still, we've been playing for quite a few turns here, and it's still underway. There's definitely a lot of gameplay yet to play. The blob world gives you a great opportunity. If you have played a lot of blob cards, you can draw 1 card per, which is amazing, or you can just use 5 attack and you create 5 combat factors. You don't even need to scrap it. It just is an amazing card. I've learned over my play with Star Realms that in many ways you really want to you want to sacrifice sometimes the weaker cards. If you can get trade 2 weaker cards for 1 really strong card, that's generally speaking a good play. Here I'm just trying to figure out which one I want to discard. They're all so good, I want to keep them all, but I'm just going to stick with, I really want both outposts, all 3 outposts up for defensive purposes. And even though they don't mesh with the, there's no combos really other than the one on the, the one in there in the middle, I can't remember its name. Yeah, the patrol mech, that's the one. There is a combo there when you play some other red cards, but yeah, right here, this illustrates why the machine base can be a double-edged sword, because I just had to lose that trading post whether I wanted it or not. But it's fine, I can pare down the deck, and blue is not my, where I'm focusing my energy anyway. So But it's a good thing it wasn't a good red card that came up, because I would have hated to have scrapped a great red card in that instance. So you can see the power of these outposts. I mean, his attacks are just not able to reach me because of all the outpost protection that I have up. And even though I can sacrifice those 2 particular outposts for extra damage, at this point I'm probably going to just hang on to them until maybe we get closer to an end game situation where they can be the difference between a win or loss. The Stealth Needle there is one of my favorite cards in the whole game. It allows you to duplicate any previously played ship. So with all the bonuses, with all the the benefits of playing another in-faction card, it's a great card, and I'm really hoping he doesn't grab it before I do. I was looking for some opportunities to get some money. I played one blob card. I think it's a bit too much of a risk to do a draw. I'll just take the attack and hammer him down, but it's so nice to have that protection up. He's got to do a lot of damage, like 10 damage, on me before he can even touch me. And I just picked up another couple of outposts as well. So I'm going to trash that Explorer. It's too bad I couldn't trash him for the combat factors, but again, just looking to pare down the deck. The Explorers are definitely the weakest part of this particular build, and I was able to grab my Stealth Needle and hit him for some reasonably major damage. We're kind of still even Steven. This has been a real slugfest. We've been playing already over 10 minutes, and we're still conceivably within range of where we started this game. So it's been quite the slugfest. Now I've got a bit of a mixed bag in terms of my hand. I'm running out of cards to get rid of because they're all good. I'm sure at very high levels of play you would be willing to scrap cards with, which, say in this case a blue card. It kind of falls outside of, the kind of build that I'm working on. But some of those cards, I love the healing part, and I really don't want to let them go. I'm going to use that card to scrap that the frigate. That's one of Yellow's best cards because it forces a discard on you. And look at that card draw. That's great. Now we're getting some real synergy going. We're already at 26. We've got a lot of buying power. I want to I'm going to take more money though, because I want to, just doing the math real quick, I want to grab these 3 cards. And in fact, as it worked out, got a trade bot with my last dollar there. And that is going to help things considerably. It also even gives me a card to trash potentially. The benefit, really, the trade bot, it's a pretty cheap little card, but it's something where you're using it to pare down your deck. And in this case, I might just scrap that, even though I just picked it up. I'd like to draw another card and see what I can get. Hopefully I can pick up another combo. Yeah, there we go, perfect. So I got another combo with a blob. With the blob, and I have, when I add in all the factors, I have 33 attack, so that's going to wipe out his infrastructure there, which is great. I've still got the patrol mech ability of trashing a card in my discard pile or in my hand. I actually wasn't sure which card I was referring to, so I was scrolling through like so many cards on the table I couldn't remember which ones were the ones that which one was the one that I needed to use. And all I'm doing basically is just canceling that ability. But look at that. Now we're getting some great combinations. We have the bases in play. We have a card that we can trash for the machine world if it lived. It didn't in the end, but our health is looking good. We had to discard that card, which is totally fine. We're back to where we were pretty much at the beginning, and he's down to 24, and he has no bases, nothing of interest on the go. So it'd be nice to have a few yellow cards to make him discard in this situation, because that would really tie his hands behind his back. And this patrol mech has been doing yeoman's work. Now that it's a later game, I'm gonna, focus more on building up that attack. I really want to get him down. This is going to take him down to single digits. And it looks like it's pretty much game over here, but man, it could have gone either way. I know I've been playing over 15 minutes, but even up to a couple minutes ago, it still could have kind of gone either way depending on how things went. But building a deck like this where you have all these red cards and even some of the green ones that are beginning to roll and combo, it's pretty incredible. Now he's getting some big combos going. It's a little bit scary when he hits you for 27 or whatever that was in combat. Now he's conceivably within one turn of wiping me out, so I have to be very careful here. I'm going to make sure that I've got as much in the way of outposts up. Going to leave those guys out. That's my protection, because at this stage of the game, it's totally feasible to do 26 plus damage, especially when the card draw gets rolling and that sort of thing. So we'll take him back down to 7. I've just got to survive this turn. I've got a good chance of beating him next turn. What I find is, I know he did a lot of damage to me last turn, but it's hard to do that 2 turns in a row, even with some great decks. He's going to make a pretty good run for it, though. He's going to get 25, 27. So there you go. Those outposts just saved the game for me. And even though I have to discard, I only have to do 11 damage. So this is right down to the wire. I do have some protection coming up, but I really don't know if that's going to be enough, especially, as I said, at this stage of the game. Luckily, picking up a couple of blobs, having good card draw here, and I believe that is the game. I'm just kind of playing out to see if I can take out his base as well, just to add insult to injury. But that was a slugfest. Managed to pull it out. I hope you got some good strategy ideas and an idea of how to incorporate the Machine Cult, the red faction, into your play. This has been Legendary Tactics. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.